Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing today? I don't think anyone's arrived in chat yet, but it's possible Streamlabs just hasn't updated. But you know what? I'm happy to play Terranigma at any time for any number of people. So yeah, I'm going to be jumping straight back into it without too much fuss. Let us go. Quick shout out to Just Lee Belmont, who followed between streams. Really appreciate it. I know you can't hear this, but if you ever watch the VOD, then you will know I appreciate it. And if you don't watch the VOD, well, I appreciate it anyway. So, the last stream was mostly concerned with going through Dragoon Castle, which remains one of the stranger experiences that I've had in Terranigma. A stealth-focused castle with absolutely zero combat, which has gone against every dungeon we've done so far. Which I appreciate as a sort of change of pace. A lot of games don't really switch themselves up too much, and I appreciate the fact that this one occasionally does. I kind of wish they'd kept some of the creativity for earlier parts of the game, because to be honest, those 5 first dungeons were not that great, the towers in the underworld. But yeah, today we've got a few things left to do. The most important of which, so after we cleared out Dragoon Castle, Peril, who is also known as Skateboard Kid, and is rad, I think we can all agree that Peril is rad, told us that Will, as he knows him, William Wright, as we know him, Wilbur? Wilbur and Orville, I think. Anyway, dude designing the aeroplane is now able to get the metal and the parts he needs in order to finish his airplane. And once he can do that, we will be able to begin investigating this person we've heard people refer to a few times, Baruga, who some people have also called the Genius. That's particularly important because this chapter of the game is called Resurrection of the Genius. So, Chapter 1, from the underworld we resurrected the world. Chapter 2, from the dead world we resurrected all life. Chapter 3, from the world of humans we are apparently supposed to resurrect the genius. So I'm gonna get to that in just a moment. I don't think there's anything more that needs doing here, actually. I believe I'm in the town of Freedom. Yes, this is the town where we found out that Alexander Graham Bell was being cheated on. Great music, as before. Florida, the dong of the United States, as always. So Nur Lake is the town where we met Will, I believe. Mick, the town chef, made a delicious food with a meat patty in a bun. I was the one who suggested that. It's really delicious. He calls it burger, I think. We rely on the lake ahead for water, but we don't trust it. Water can be a god or a devil, so we don't go to it without cause. You know, fair. Have you ever experienced deadly poison? It saps you steadily. When I was hit with deadly poison, I used a serum. I shudder thinking how I would have died if I didn't have a serum. How many serums do I have? 5, that's probably a good number. And some poison cures. I saw something. While working, something flashed in the sky. Spewing smoke, it fell towards the lake. It was quite a sight. Ah, that must be Will's plane. Nope, not that one. Not you. That's Alexander Graham Bell's girlfriend. Wait a second, is Will even in this town? I'm sure I'm in the right town. I think this is maybe him. That sign says nothing. Yes, here we go. What's this? Looks like a diary. Let's see. XX. Prototype 9 fails. Crashes in village to much damage. YY. Something is missing. What's wrong? ZZ. Prototype 10 completed. This time, the test flight will be by the lake. I pray for success. Yes, that pretty much confirms that what the sailor saw was his plane. Will made his airplane. It really flies great. He said he'll take peril and everything at Kidsgard, and everyone at Kidsgard. I don't know where that is. Up. Ha 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 ha! Listen, Ark, it's finished, my airplane. Metal became available again. I should never give up my dreams. Ark, you try flying. On the runway, press the A button. In flight, press L to descend and R to ascend. Press Y to accelerate. To land at any airfield, fly low and press the A button. Dude's just letting me use his plane. I assumed he was going to be the pilot. Let me pop into the inn quickly. Oh! There's an airfield now. Whoops. Oh? No? Okay. Okay. This is kind of rad. This is kind of cool. I'll give them that. And you can hold Y to go faster. Well, up to a point. But if you stop going in a direction, you just stop. This is a very easy plane to pilot, fortunately. Okay. So... that's Arabia, which we've really not had the opportunity to explore, but there also doesn't seem to be anything there. This is the Sahara, which we have explored, and I don't think has anything more for us. Oh! There is another airfield. I feel like we saw this spot before and couldn't actually get to it. Yeah. When we first came here, all the way from the desert, you come south, you come west, and there's this area you cannot access, but there was a castle there. And now we can access it. Let's land. The flying is not the most difficult, or frankly the most engaging thing, but it's honestly kind of fun. Okay, before going to any of the obvious places, let's do some exploration. Oh! Well, I know how I get to Siberia. I feel like I've already been here, or somewhere similar at least. I think it's just somewhere similar. Always worth getting stuff. Block rod. Is that better than what I've currently got? Yep. So this portion of the game has, like, kind of a frustrating thing going on. And it's not their fault, but I literally... Hey, Rain Squall. The OST is amazing, and yeah, this weird haunting music is great. So, I got the 3-part rod in Dragoon Castle, where there is 0 combat. Since then, I've had 0 combat. So literally, I got a weapon, which was better than the previous best weapon I had, never used it, and then got a better weapon. Strength plus 50 changes strength into defense? Okay, so... what does that mean? Changes strength into defense. Probably deals less damage, but I take less damage? That's certainly worth trying. But at least it's not like a guaranteed better than. Gives the 3-part rod something to do at least. Just trying to think where else you hear this part of the soundtrack. I think when you leave the underworld is the first time you hear this. Rain Squall, do you know this game well? Because I'm in a part of this game that I've never played before. So, I might end up embarrassing myself. Swap strength and defense, something like that. Okay, so then you know it way better than I do. I've never actually finished it. As a kid, I started it like probably 5-6 times. But I could just never finish it because honestly I wasn't very good at it. Especially Bloody Mary. Yo, Cahill! Thank you for the raid. Like, don't go super heavy on spoilers, but if it's a spoiler like the evil dude with the evil mustache is evil, I mean, sure. It's not a pathetic raid, Cahill. All raids are appreciated. Yeah, I spammed with magic, and then I ran out of magic, and it was a bad time. But I beat her. I don't think there's been a boss since then, so I'm looking forward to the next boss being impossible. This is Mosque, apparently. Okay, so given the name, I was expecting this world's equivalent of, like, Mecca. Oh, that's very kind of you, Rain Squall, but it took save states and still about, like, 6-7 attempts. It was terrible. Kale, thank you so much for the sub. Really appreciate it. Yeah, check your order renewal. But still, that makes you a blue ribbon pig. For more about Baruga, go into the Disciples' Quarters. You will come to understand Baruga's greatness. Oh. So yeah, I was expecting something kind of Middle Eastern. It's called Mosque. But it's like vaguely snowy, even though the area around it isn't snowy and everyone's dressed up like wizards. People will be freed of all pain. Even death will be powerless. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what that's called, but it's a very cool artifact. Red armor will fill you with strength. Okay. Got me some bulbs. I still don't know what Stardew does. I have several Stardew, and I don't know what they do. Healing water. For one defense? For one defense? Also, 666. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, game. Cahill, you're never gonna stop making that joke. I'm never gonna stop appreciating it. So thank you. You may stay here if you wish. It is 50 gems. Nah, I'm all good. I'm gonna save, though. You guys creep me out. Okay. Share your secrets with me, weird wizards. The great Baruga will rise once again. He will create an eternal paradise in this world. Okay, so a religious figure. This chapter is called Resurrection of the Genius. Baruga has been called a genius by other people, so I'm pretty sure we know that, yes, Baruga will legit come back. Those in white are white disciples who directly serve Baruga. It is a great honor to be chosen, a white disciple serving Baruga. I'm gonna be a white disciple when I grow up to help Dr. Baruga. That's another interesting thing. Occasionally he's referred to as Baruga, like a religious figure, and sometimes he's referred to as Dr. Baruga. The great Baruga will rise once again. You're just telling me about your eternal paradise again. This aesthetic is bizarre, and I kind of love it. Do you seek Baruga's word? No way. The unbelievers shall be driven from paradise. Then enter the back room. A disciple will educate you. Also, that picture on the wall. Is it like a low-angle picture of a dude with a beard wearing glasses, or am I going crazy? I don't know how well it shows up on stream either. Okay. The Rain Squall sees the same thing. Oh. I was not ready for church. The world is rife with corruption. Save us, Baruga. When Baruga awakens, the world will also arise. Have a seat and listen to Baruga's teachings. I'd rather not. The sinners will always be tortured by guilt. Now let us pray to affirm our faith in Baruga. Well, I don't think the developers of this game were big fans of organized religion. Just a weird feeling I'm getting. Baruga awaits at the castle in the lake in the south. portrait on the wall depicts Baruga. Okay, so I was right. Bearded dude with glasses. Please, line up and hear the great words of Baruga. Okay. Baruga once won a Nobel Peace Prize for new biotechnology theories. When is this game taking place? Like, that is not a sentence I expected. He perfected DNA engineering to finally cure recurring diseases. Keep in mind, Ark resurrected all of humanity, like, in-game, maybe a year ago. Which is... It's interesting that, like, some places came back medieval and still sort of seem to be. This place has, like, genetic engineering. Since then, he has dedicated himself to the study of immortality. All humans shun silence and fear the dark. Why? Because they all fear death. A playwright once claimed this. People are born crying. To die, and for a new life to be born, come with unimaginable pain. When all are immortal, change will cease and peace will come. Yo, Zach, I'm doing good. How are you? I see that you at least partly managed to sort out your university stuff, college stuff. Wait, I forgot. No one redeemed for Rainbow Pig yet. Baruga will create that utopian world. Baruga is now locked in deep sleep in an ultra-cold machine. Oh, dude cryo-froze himself? He shall soon awaken in this world. Let us pray for that day. It's an interesting take on the whole, here's a dude doing immortality thing. Oh, Anchi Mimachi? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Thank you so much for the raid. Cahill, if you're still in chat, can you give a shout out to Anchi Mimanchi? If Cahill's not in chat, I can do it in a moment. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Wait. That is a straight up Terranigma emote, I think, which is rad. This game doesn't get enough love. Yo, Chen. Hope I spelled that correctly. There we go. Oh, playing Crisis Core. I don't really know much about Crisis Core, but I know that the people who like it love it. Okay. So Baruga is not really a religious figure in any traditional sense. He claims that he'll bring immortality, but through genetic engineering. Really appreciate that. I was saying earlier, Terranigma is a game that I've never finished. I love the aesthetic, I love the music, I love the world building, but when I previously played it, I always lost to Bloody Mary. I always lost to Bloody Mary. And this time, since I'm playing it on stream, I looked up a strategy guide, I bought all the magic rings, and I pushed through, and I finally beat Bloody Mary. So I've never got to this part of the game. I almost never use magic, but damn it, that's not going to stop me from picking up some Magirock. Okay. Baruga is waiting quietly in the castle he built himself. When the time comes, he shall rise again to save the believers. Like, nothing here says that these people have genetic manipulation technology. It's so weird. I do not fear death. I have total faith in Baruga's words. Baruga declared that an age when we no longer fear death shall come. Lady, I hope your faith pays off. Okay. That is a pretty cool picture. I can see why people worship this dude. He's like Gordon Freeman before Gordon Freeman. He is our savior, Baruga. Baruga is preparing to save this corrupted world. Rad, he's definitely not going to be evil. No one with a beard that rad can possibly be evil. I don't need a heal, but I feel like I need a save. I'm pretty sure Baruga's castle is not going to be the fun time place I hope it's going to be. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, there's the path. Okay. Once again, dude won a Nobel Peace Prize, which implies that this takes place sometime in the 20th century, at least this portion of it. Dude has cryosleep chambers and genetic manipulation, but still builds a castle. Like, the weird mix is bizarre. Whoa, I forgot to update my BCTV command. I no longer have Bongo Tap, I now have Zoomer Dance. Sure thing, Cahill. I appreciate all lurkers, I appreciate all watchers, I appreciate all VOD watchers, even though I have 3 subscribers and Cahill has all 3 of them. Okay, I can use my weapon. What a lovely green that is. Yeah, the music in this place is rad. I mean, the music in the whole game is rad. It's weird that I can use my weapon, but so far there are no enemies. Oh. Arc pressed the switch. We have lights. That's much better. I'm sorry, is this Chrono Trigger all of a sudden? I said Chrono Trigger, but those doors over there give me weird Skyward Sword vibes. Oh? Oh, that's just a pot. Rip me. Fucking 2 damage? Yeah, I think the block rod basically took away all my actual attack and turned it into defense. Which at least means that the curse doesn't do anything to me. Yeah, that's not a great weapon. And it doesn't even seem to add that much defense. Nope. That's just the damage I do. No, it's not. That was with my reduced strength. So it basically gives me a strength of like 0 or 1 in exchange for better defense, but I don't feel like remarkably better defense. Like, I was taking damage in the 20s instead of the 30s. But I was also dealing like 2 and 3 damage. Cool. That was rough. I'm glad the block rod exists. I feel like there's probably a place where it's going to be super useful. But not at the moment. That doesn't work here, Stitch. But how are you? I appreciate your very generous definition of that working. Did I just glitch him out of existence? Nope. So, oops! Oh, this dude hits hard, and that strength down is horrible. Okay, that was unpleasant. It should be noted, for anybody who has not seen me play this before, who has maybe seen other people play this game, I am very bad at Terranigma. I enjoy it, that doesn't make me good. So, if you are expecting top tier play, I'm sorry to have to disappoint you. I mostly just tank through the worst of the attacks. Lule KX? Lulex? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yes, I am Einschwein. Okay, so these guys are dash and dash away. Unfortunately, the dash gives you just enough iframes that you can use it to get through their dash attack. Another switch. Interestingly, I didn't see what this one did. Curious. And I don't think there's much more we can do. It's so close, just let me go there. I'm really sad that the block rod is so bad, because it's such a nice color for the weapon. Wait a second. These guys were not moving before. Is that what the second switch did? I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I think I brought the Chrono Trigger robots back to life. I'm definitely gonna die at least once in this place. I just got a bad feeling about it. Is this gonna be one of those elevator things where the enemies keep coming? And you've just got to fight for a while. It doesn't look like it. Those lights do not make me feel confident. Yeah, you stand there impatiently, Ark. Oh. I will say, appropriately creeped out by this place. It's got a whole new soundtrack. The music has a slightly weird undertone. It's using a color palette that hasn't been common in the game. It's introducing technology which hasn't really been used in the game thus far. So, you know, good job designing this, guys. Okay. I'm guessing I have to come here from the other side. But what if I slide tackle you? That was not the slide tackle. Let me actually see if I've got any useful items I can equip. Not really. Nope, might as well keep the camera. Maybe I can use it like in Fatal Frame. Okay. More down, I guess. No? No more down? Huh. Curious. Okay, so I'm definitely missing something. I have a walkthrough available, but I don't want to jump to it straight away. These things I cannot interact with. I do take advice. Thank you. Aha! A thing. I'm not sure if that was going to be your advice. Excuse me? Since when do we have dudes with jetpacks? I mean, thank you for offering the advice. I genuinely appreciate it. This is... Oh, you can jump. It's a freaking teleporter pod? Oh. I am loving some of the design in this new level. Whoops. Oh, these guys really don't hit that hard, at least not with impact damage. They probably hit way harder if they manage to, like, shoot you with a gun. Like, this game has just managed to sell me even harder than it originally did. Ah! I do wonder if the red mail might have been useful. Like, in spite of being only +1 defense, the dude said it would fill me with strength. So, I wonder what that exactly means. And we have here several teleporter pods. Okay. Well, that's a way to reset the room, I guess. I mean, that's not actually terrible for grinding. These guys are not that tough. If I find myself needing to either level or money grind at some point, not a bad option. You know what? I would actually love to see a speedrun of this game. So, yeah, let me know. I mean, after this, I'll probably just follow you, because I would love to see what an actual skilled player can do. Yeah, that's the thing that's gonna hurt, I suspect. They're weird bullets. Alright, press the switch. That was either a very good or a very bad idea. Whoops. I want to do some healing. Z4 Tox is a really... or Zatox, maybe? Is a really good runner in this game. I'm actually glad that this game gets speedruns. I've never really heard a lot of people speak about it, although I have to admit, since I've started streaming, I've been very pleased that there are a couple of people, I mean, like this, who know and love the game. And yeah, it just makes me very, very happy that one of the kind of less appreciated SNES RPGs really gets some love. Life up 12, strength up 2, defense up 2, luck up 3. Oh, that luck is beautiful. Ugh. Is this... This cannot be the same spot from before, can it? No, it's not. Yep, the few fans are passionate. Well, honestly, for good reason. I should have moved those boxes earlier. Well, I managed to hit a switch. So there's definitely something that can be done now. Wonder if the elevator will take me further down. That's what I'm hoping for. Yes, I was correct. Yeah, when I need help, I am happy to receive it. I do appreciate you asking though, because sometimes my answer is going to be just let me bumble around for a few minutes. Excuse me. Huh. Excuse me, Sir Q. Do you guys respawn? You do. But you don't respawn with your money inside you. Or the money is just not a guaranteed drop? No. It looks like it's a one-time drop. Whoops. I mean, honestly, that would be way too powerful for a money grinding spot. Okay. Okay, dude, not that I mind an easy fight, but you've got to attack me if you want to win. Excuse me? Is that not a bridge? What am I seeing here that is not traversable? Okay, I guess. Okay, there's no, like, secret technique. Okay, there doesn't seem to be much. Let's take the first teleporter. Oh, 2 robots is always a bad time. There we go. Rad. Oh, hello, Mr. Cube. So many cubes. Are all cube friends gonna give me money? Nope. There we go. Definitely taking that. I want to use that. I did nothing to antagonize the cubes, nor admittedly did they do anything to antagonize me other than have money inside them. Hi Tom, how are you doing? Whoop. Oh god, it's a teleporter maze. Teleporter maze is probably my least favorite trope in games. If it is a maze, that is. Maybe it's not. I'm doing alright, thank you, Tom. I am meeting new fans of this game, which is always fun, because this game is not that well known, but it has some lovely passionate fans. Yeah, the fans also do something I really like, which is they tend to help me when I'm struggling. Which is... Oh no. No, no. Oh no, fighting on the conveyor belts is so bad. Let me just hide while my strength comes back. Correct, Drain Squall. I said it and I meant it. I mean, in a sense, it is good game design, because it is intentionally challenging. Definitely good OST. A lot of fun characters, very fun storytelling. Is the game design at this point also frustrating? Yes. But again, I feel intentionally so. Because it takes an enemy that at this point you're fairly used to, and have probably figured out the best attack, which is the dash, and makes that much less useful, or at least much less immediately useful. Admittedly, some questionable world building. What the heck are these conveyor belts doing? Okay. Log into database. Please enter the password. What is this? Login? Password? What's that about? This machine controls all systems in Baruga's lab. It's protected by a password to shield the data. So I can't do anything if I don't know the password? Just key in what I tell you. Okay. Okay. So, Tom. That's a remarkably good question, because some parts of it are apparently medieval. There's also early American. There's also, like, vaguely modern Australian. There's also, like, Neo-Tokyo. There's also, like traditional Chinese. And there's this, which is futuristic. The planet's something of a mishmash. But this is interesting. Firstly, how would Yomi know the password? Secondly, why would the password be Bloody Mary? That is interesting. Bloody Mary, like that? Root password accepted. Yomi, if you turn out to be like the soul of Baruga or something, that's gonna be weird, since you are in a box in hell. Elevators and cold sleep device password lock disengaged. Whoa, it opened on the first shot. But why does Yomi know something like that? Yeah, good question. Yomi, why do you know something like that? Connecting to database. Access which data? So, past history? Who even knows? Who even knows? How far back does past history go? Because we're clearly, like, in the year 3000 at the moment. And then there's also stuff that's, like, 800 AD. And maybe some people who are living in the early... like, I don't know. You know what? No, I like Yomi. Yomi's a fun little trickster character. The dawn of humankind. The date that Dr. Baruga announced his new biological theory. DNA engineering brought about cures for recurrent diseases. It also helped extend life and promote artificial intelligence. That's all. Okay. The world's first super cold hibernation device made by Dr. Baruga. It slowed the progress of rapid diseases and saved many lives. And then I think this starts to get to, like, much more relevant lore in terms of what Ark did. Oh. That's not topical at all. The day an airborne infectious virus of 90% mortality struck. I mean, it's not 90% mortality, but it's still weird. Named Asmodeus? I'm sorry. I'm briefly going to pause the game. Like, not pause. I know that name. Who is Asmodeus? Is a prince of demons, or in Judeo-Islamic law, the king of the earth spirits. Okay. So it was named after the prince of demons. Which is... why would you name it after that? Named Asmodeus, the virus decimated the human populace. If it's 90% mortality, then it literally actually decimated, which I approve of. Oh, fuck, Tom, you're right. Quick, hide it. Delete all VODs. Some were saved by Dr. Veruga's vaccine. Fuck. But lack of food spelled doom. Boy, oh boy. Fuck, you're done? Okay. That's all you're gonna tell me. Lab's purpose. Undertook research and development of groundbreaking biotechnology. Because of the highly hazardous work, robots are exclusively used. The vaccine for Asmodeus was created here to stop the plague. Its effectiveness was measured to be over 80% recovery. That's incredible. But insufficient production meant it was available only to a few. Okay. Someone's gonna get a hold of this game and say that, like, this was encoded with a plan ahead of time so that, like, billionaires could like, prepare. I hate it. First floor is the robot assembly plant. Basement floor 1 and 2 are the biolab. Basement floor 3 and beyond are under construction. Okay. Basement floor 3 is under construction. Guess where I'm going, bitch. 98% mortality rate would not be very efficient for the virus. Well, that's the thing with a lot of diseases. They don't want to kill you. It sounds weird. When a virus kills people, especially a lot of people, that's a mistake on the virus's part. Like, that's just... At the end of the day, they want to be in hosts. And the best way to do that is to... frick. Yeah, they want to hijack you to make more of them. And if they kill you before they can do that, then, frankly, they're just not going to do it very well. Most very deadly diseases do not come from human beings. Also, hi, Pez. Sorry, I didn't notice you. Most highly contagious diseases don't originate in humans. They're not human diseases, they're animal diseases which humans end up getting. A fantastic example of that is, of course, malaria. The deadliest disease in terms of overall mortality rate that there has ever been. And, like, that's because it's not a human disease, it's a mosquito disease. It hits a very different kind of immune system in a very different way. The effective diseases are things like flu, which tend to have a much lower mortality rate and therefore spread much more effectively. They also don't normally give severe symptoms, so people can still socialize while they've got the flu, which is great if you're the flu and you want to spread. Okay. Let's go to the next floor, which is still under construction. I'm sure this isn't going to be dangerous with holes in the floor. Oh! No problem, Rain Squall. You know what? This whole place is not OSHA compliant, so... I was not in control of that walk. I am still not in control. Oh. Intruder alert. Attack mode on. Judgment is passed. I am at... So... I was going to say I'm at 14 health. I couldn't quite get that far. Well, I've got all my money at least. This place doesn't sell any magic. I would have dearly liked to have some magic there. I hope I'll just be able to go... You know what? You're right, Rain Squall. I was completely accurate. At least I can just go straight down, and I can do what I did with Bloody Mary, which is I can save state. I'm curious, though, to what extent the red mail might be useful. Because it's weird that it only increases my health, my defense by 1. So I do wonder if there might be a little bit more to it than that. There's also the possibility that I could use the block rod, which will significantly reduce my strength, but in exchange should improve my defense. So I have options going forward. Okay. I can also fly somewhere else and get some magic. Anyway, time for a save state. Which is totally not cheating because I said so. I have to say, the scale of this boss is thoroughly impressive. Yeah, buddy. Oh? Ah! Excuse me? Why does everything deal so much damage? Oh my lord! No, this is terrible. And I hate that it's got, like, components. Ooh, frames. I was just frozen there. Yeah, I'm probably gonna die. I am willing to go through all of my healing items. Honestly, as much damage as this is dealing, and yes, the very frustrating paralysis, I'm still not finding it as difficult as Bloody Mary. I mean, I say that now, until that happens. Hey, look, it never happened. Honestly, it does deal a lot of damage. Like, even if my strength is heavily reduced, I don't think that's going to reduce how much damage I'm dealing by much. So, I'm considering switching to the block rod. Just for the increased defense. Whoops. Yeah, so part of the strategy is just to get close and hit those legs. I'm assuming the legs are the only weak point, but then that paralysis. And burner ignition is actually a good opportunity to do some healing. When it starts with the hammer, I keep my distance, waiting for it to do the missiles, because the missiles are actually a good opportunity to do that. Rip. Oh lordy. Ooh, I'm going through all of my healing items. But I feel like I have a better idea of how to at least approach this one. I say while being hit twice in a row. I think this judgment is past attack. I just kind of need to wait it out. Come on. What even hit me there? Out of medium bulbs, but I've still got large bulbs, which are the more important ones. Yes, launcher missile. That's the easiest one to dodge. Ah, rip. I don't feel like I did too badly there. There's probably like a proper strategy that doesn't involve just this. But I feel like I'm doing okay. For someone who's not very good at the game. That is the hope, Rain Squall. And yet... I mean, I still think I'm doing not terribly. Okay, gotta heal up again. Getting caught on his legs is the most frustrating thing. He's got a fucking level 2 whiplash now? I can still attack the bottom one during that period. I am at 1 health. I had a full-on clench there. Still, I can hit the bottom leg during that. Burner ignition is good because that's normally followed by launch missile, which is relatively easy to dodge if I'm smart. And if that doesn't happen. Fuck. I learned something. I'm gonna try it with the block rod to see if I take less damage. Because honestly, I'm dealing like 2 and 3 damage most of the time. So the block rod changes strength into defense. I really appreciate that, rain squall. That's not the one I was looking for. Out of curiosity, rain squall, did you choose your name for any particular reason, or did you just like the way it sounded? Okay, so it's not really telling me anything useful there. Because when I see the word squall, I always think of one thing in particular. Yeah. Rip! Fuck. Slice as in the dash? Or just the stab? Or like the air slice? The dash. Yeah, I know. The thing is, if I space it right, I'll take no damage. But I sometimes get like stuck on his body parts, and then I do take damage. Like that. But yeah, I know the dash normally gives you iframes, which none of the other attacks really do. Fuck. Rip! Come on. Landing right on my head. That seems somehow unfair. Still though, the block rod is actually doing an amazing job. That sucked. I still think I can do this. It's possible that having magic would be useful. Okay, that was stupid on my part. Oh, that's great, Cahill. You know what? I'm doing better than I was against Bloody Mary. This dude's big and scary, but I'm consistently dealing damage. I'm also taking a lot of damage. Let me not pretend that I'm taking no damage. But that's a lot of missiles, I do have to say. I have 1 health. I know that was a typo, Cahill, but that's what I need. Good F luck. How much health does this fucker have? Wow, Kale, I thought you believed in me like a friend would. I have 2 large bulbs left. See, that's how it needs to go. Even if I don't deal that much damage, if I can get out without taking damage, or at least without taking too much damage, yes. Rip. You know what, Tom? You know what, I think you might be right. I think that is, in fact, Dylan Comics Cahill. Come on. There we go. There we go. That one's good. Yeah, that one's less good. I'm gonna take some damage here, unfortunately. And that's my last large bulb. There we go. No, that's not too bad. So much health. There we go. Frames, who needs them? Rip! Come on, give me that burner ignition. Excuse me? Huh. Hi, Glitch. Good to see you. This is not Bloody Mary. It's not even Mecha Bloody Mary. But it is hurting me quite a bit. I think I've got a reasonably good, like, flow here. Fuck! And I have no healing items. Fucking combo attack? Rip. How's everybody enjoying watching the same fight for the past 30 minutes? Those of you who saw my Bloody Mary fight know that this could be the next, just like the rest of the stream. All jokes aside, I'm doing better than I was. I got into a good rhythm there. I do think I've still got the wrong weapon equipped. Yeah. Let's equip the block rod, which did seem to do slightly more damage. Oh, come on. Yeah, gotta go vertical to avoid the whiplash. Or not. Hey, guess who's completely wrong about everything he just thought he figured out? I have 8 large bulbs. How can I not win with that many? Frick. Oh, that went terribly. This may be my worst performance yet. I mean, no. It's still better than my first one. No, no, no. Fudge. That's in survivable range, at least. I don't know why it calls that combo attack. It's literally just this. It's just the missile attack. There we go. That's one of the worst spots for him to land in, to be honest. Come on. Fuck. This may not be the worst spot for him. I mean, only because they're all pretty terrible. But it's a pretty terrible spot for him to be in. Oh good, I entirely misjudged the timing on that. Come on. I do appreciate that, Drain Squall. I do feel like I'm doing okay. The only issue is I have no idea how much health he has. It just seems to be more than what I would consider a reasonable amount. Which is made all the worse by the fact that I'm really not dealing a lot of damage. I just misread my own Discord notification and thought it said feet pics instead of pet pics, which would be a very different Discord. Come on. Come on. Nope, nope, that's me. That's me. Nope. I survived somehow. Oh, great. Okay, all of my large bulbs gone. But how did that hit me? He was in the sky. Oh, this... Now this is going terribly. And I'm dealing... maybe 10 on a good round? So... hear me out. Magic, maybe. Okay, that is all my healing items. But... Nope, that's it, pretty much. Yep, there we go. Well, that went well. Just checking in the walkthrough if there's anything useful. Yeah, there's nothing particularly useful in the walkthrough. So let's just buy some healing items. Oh good, you don't sell medium. You don't sell smaller mediums. Time to head to one of the previous towns. Unfortunately, the only way to get there is by flying. And that means... yeah, might as well go to the US anyway. I mean... I complain, but this is kind of cool. Okay. So first thing. Give me all your small bulbs. I mean, at least I feel like I'm making progress with this one. I didn't feel like I was making any progress with Bloody Mary. You do not sell magic. I hope someone in this town sells magic. Even though I've pissed on magic throughout the whole game. I take it back, Magic Man. Are you seriously telling me no one in this town has magic? So, let's check Nurlake, but I'm pretty sure they don't. Like, I don't think they have any stores. No, they've just got the inn. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back to Europe, but I can't fly from Europe, so this is gonna take me a couple of minutes. No, wrong way. Or right way? No. Oh, equivalent. Remember when I could talk to plants? Those were the good old days. Plants never built a giant robot that tried to kill me several times. You guys have magic? You do. Rad. That's not magic. That's not going to be magic either. You've got a fortune teller. You must have a magic store, right? You don't, do you? All that time I talked shit about magic, it's coming back to bite me. Okay, time to head back to, I think Loire has magic. I don't think Litz has magic, so... You're not the magic store. No, you're the fortune teller. Oh god, have all the magic stores turned into fortune tellers? Okay. Okay, I'm not completely screwed. I've got a lot of Magirock. I know the Elec Ring was effective against Bloody Mary. So I'll take a bunch of those. Pyro Ring might actually be useful. I'll take a couple of those. The magic shop music is great. And a couple of boom rings, I guess. Well, that's the thing. Part of the reason I talk shit on the magic shop is that I never have any reason to go. And then suddenly when I do have reason to go, I can't find one. Okay, but that's a bunch of magic rings. That'll probably at least be okay, if not amazing. Whoops, there we go. They really leaned into the Mode 7 in this game. Whoops. They really do not make the flying difficult, but it is kind of a cool feature. Okay. So let's equip that. Yeah. And let's try once more to see, well, not once more. What are you shaking your finger at, Ark? I love the fact that basically all 90s protagonists, not all, but many of them, were exactly the same in terms of, you know, that rad 90s attitude. Because Ark could just be substituted for Sonic the Hedgehog, and you'd barely notice the difference. Yeah, you're right. It's cold and aloof or edgy 90s attitude. There is no middle ground. Okay, I'm just going to save slot again. This reminds me in many ways of the one robot fight in Chrono Trigger. Yeah, buddy. That's good. Is that not the button for using magic? Oh, there we go. It just wasn't happening properly. I am actually mad. I'm actually mad. So, give me a moment. I saved 2 separate slots. In this one, I haven't wasted like 2,000 gold on magic that I can't even use. I hate that magic can't be used here. Bullshit. And it's always the bosses where you want to use magic. So I do have the wrong weapon equipped, but... okay. Out of curiosity, Tom, when you looked up the health, did it give any indication if it was 620 total or 620 per leg? Because apparently each leg has its own health bar. I mean, even with this bullshit, I cannot imagine that it's 620 per leg. There we go. Come on. You know what? I'm actually going to save state during the boss, because this one is going well. Fuck. If I can get him to stay here and just keep doing this, this is an okay loop I'm in. I say before getting wrecked. That is above me by quite a bit. I'm level 23. Yeah, I might have to do some level grinding somewhere. I mean, unless he keeps doing this... See, when I finally beat Bloody Mary, a similar thing happened where she just got into a loop that I could exploit. But I can't use magic, Tom. Yeah, you see, he's not doing the burner ignition thing, which is the most dangerous part. Because that's when he moves. And I've got a safe spot here. Tom! What does it say about physical resistances? By the way, guys, follow if you want to see more top-tier gameplay of me being frustrated because I can't use magic against a boss. Fuck your combo attack, buddy. You mean when it says spinner, it probably means that one. But getting close enough to do that is very difficult. Honestly, at this point, the rush does 50% less, but it's the only way I can get close and get away. At this point, my biggest issue is surviving rather than killing it fast. Speaking of which, since I am surviving, fuck. I mean, I suppose I can do that, and that actually does deal quite a lot of damage. I mean, it does when I hit more than once. It sort of does, Tom, but at the same time, I could deal plenty of damage to Bloody Mary with my magic. Even though she didn't have any particular weaknesses, the magic still did a lot. Still though, because he's not flying, this one's going much better. Except sometimes that whiplash comes out so fast. Which, I mean, makes sense. It is called whiplash. Yeah, I really hope I can use magic for the final boss. Because I haven't looked anything up, but I've heard tell that the final boss is particularly difficult. Final boss is much prettier to look at. You know what? That makes me happy. I knew you were gonna do that, you bastard. I do recognize that at some point I'm probably gonna have to level grind, which I will probably do off stream. You raise a very good point, Tom. If I don't manage to beat this guy on stream, which I am going to optimistically say is unlikely, then I'm gonna level grind off stream. Because, I mean, you guys don't want to see me run around and killing the same enemies for like 2 hours. Hey, Nev! Yes, this is, by all definitions, a boss. It is also much easier now than it has been any of the 6 previous times that I fought it. Because it seems to have got into a loop where it never moves. But I'm still gonna have to hit each of its legs conservatively 40 times, if I'm calculating correctly. Whoops! Oh, that was terribly timed. Yes, everyone say hi to Rain. You know what? I am going to save state again. Yeah, you whiplash me, buddy. It's your best chance of actually dealing damage. Whoops. I mean, a surprise missile barrage will also do the trick. Tom. It is telling me that it has passed judgment on me. Whoops. You know what? I am going to load a state, actually. Because things went a bit poorly there. Knew you were gonna do that, bastard. No! No! Oh no, he broke the loop. Oh, it so does. It so does, Niv. Okay, so standing too close to him sometimes means he breaks the loop. And given that the loop is the only reason I'm having any success, I cannot allow that to happen. Honestly, I want to see how a speedrunner does this boss. Someone just the other day was talking about... Oh, it wasn't. I think it was you, Niv. Talking about SMT4. How are you feeling about... Which one's coming up? SMT5? Okay. Oh. So is this your first time playing SMT4? Guys, I think this robot's passing judgment on me. Fuck. And now I'm not even hitting the same foot. Oh, cool. Level 2 Whiplash. Ah, this is bad. Okay, so I am going to still try to beat it, but I'm not going to save now that he's moving around. Because this does not feel amazing. I mean, there is always just the possibility that I pretty much cannot beat it at this level. Gotta try to stop it from doing that. Yeah, combo attack, that's fine. Combo attack does not move you. It's when you move that things go badly. I just can't believe I haven't even managed to destroy one of the feet yet. Nope, dodge the launch missile. Okay. Save state again. Unfortunately, I do have to destroy all 3 feet. And I've only done any significant damage to the left one, which is still not destroyed. Nope, that was a huge mistake. And it wasn't worth enough. I meant to use a healing item. I'm just gonna go back. Gotta love that 3 damage. Ooh, 5 damage. Arc's been lifting. No. By the way, if anybody writes anything in chat and I don't notice it, please feel free to at me. Chat is not so full that it's going to be a problem, and I do want to respond to people. Hi, Niv, did I miss something you said? your fifth time trying to complete SMT4. You want to finally beat it. Cool. That's kind of how I feel about this game. Ooh, frames. Who even needs them? I think I might have to cut stream early just to do some off-stream grinding. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to watch me grind for like an hour. Sure as heck, I know I don't want to watch me grind for an hour. It is an unfortunate fact of life. Well, of RPGs in general. Sometimes you gotta grind. Honestly, this is not a terrible loop. But yeah, at level 23, I don't think I can do this. I'm weirded out that this doesn't show my strength. Sorry, it doesn't show my level. Why does it not show my level? That's bizarre. No? Rip, mistimed it. Yeah. There are a couple of modern RPGs that kind of avoid the grinding issue. But it's still pretty prevalent. You know, the iframes from this dash. Rip. I probably can't beat him, but I do have a reasonable strategy going here. Weirdly, attacking from below is much better than I thought it was. Oh, nice. Let me pause to see something pleasant. But still with some nice high-tension music in the background. Let's take a look at Niv's art. Niv, this is super cool. I don't recognize what series this is from. SMT, I'm guessing. But this is super rad. I don't know what on earth you could need to fix. Oh, just your own characters. Well, they are very, very cool. Thank you for sharing, Niv. It gave me a moment of levity. Now to die a horrible death. Rip! Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to grind. So, I'm not gonna end stream. I'm not going to grind all the way to like level 27. I don't even know how I would achieve that. But yeah, I'll grind for the next 30 minutes or so. I think this is just a situation where, honestly, I'm not dealing enough damage and I'm taking too much damage. Yeah, at my current level, this is infeasible. Again, I'd genuinely love to see how a speedrunner does it. If I remember correctly, there were some good grinding spots the second basement floor. But while the slow elevator goes down, I'm just gonna check for some good grinding spots. Terranigma level grinding. So apparently there is a spot in the lab. Second floor, right where you flip the switch to access the third floor, apparently. I can do that for a while. Okay, so I've got the right strategy. Just the wrong level. I can live with that, honestly. It's not my favorite thing. I like it in games where you can go in under-leveled and be just fine. If you figure out the strategy. But at the same time, this is a traditional SNES RPG. Level grinding is a part of the... You know, it's what you do. What? I am getting bodied. Oh, this is also the wrong weapon for this. It seems to be fine against him, but against these guys, less so. I haven't. I keep wanting to try... I keep wanting to try it. I had a friend who recommended it like every other day. So yeah, Divinity is definitely one I want to try. You know, this money's not going to hurt me either. Have you played Divinity? You tried it once, it's super complex. See, that's the kind of review I like, because it's... like, depending on who you say that to, that can either be a very good or a very bad thing. Because some people like their super complex RPGs, and some people like things more like this, where you have, like, 3 attacks. I mean, you don't. But it's not super complicated. That's the closest you've got to an actual defensive move, and it doesn't work on, like, 80% of things. Rip me. I believe these guys give about 100 hit points, which is pretty nice. Yeah, this is the spot. Apparently this is a very good grinding spot. See, what I find weird is I don't feel under-leveled for these guys. Yeah, I heard that the battle system was very D&D inspired in, like, the best ways. And yeah, that there were a ton of different ways you could take down pretty much any enemy. I like that. I like everything about that concept. It's a game I want to check out. It's been on my radar for a while. I've just never actually played it. You know, the jump attack does the most damage, but that may be better. Okay, level 24. Strength up 3, defense up 2, luck up 2, a few extra hit points. I might check that out then. Good lord, buddy, stop! These guys also drop quite a bit of cash, so I'm not too worried about using a bunch of bulbs to heal while I grind against them. Okay, Hill, I love you too. Thanks for lurking. I really appreciate it. Okay. So I've still got a way to go before I reach level 25. Tom, you said he's level 27, right? It is kind of weird how many artists follow me. But, like, good weird. What do I need for my next level? I think part of the reason I enjoy the fact that artists come to my streams is specifically because I'm not an artist. I have no real artistic skill, I love seeing what you guys come up with. It makes me very happy to see people achieving cool things that I'm completely unable to achieve. So I need about 2,000 more experience. They each give 100. There's 4 to a room. So if I've calculated that correctly, I should have to grind through this room like 5 more times before I reach level 25. Rain, that playthrough you saw, did you see what level they were? Because if they were 27, I'll go for 27. Whoops, I gotta heal up. Whoa. Niv calling down the Star Storm. You know, it's weird. I think these guys are meant to be robots, but they look like little elephant dudes. Okay, so I can kill these guys in a single hit with a crit. Which is good to know. There we go. Level 25. Life up 14, strength up 3, defense up 2, luck up 3. This is actually a great grinding spot. In fact, let me check. What do I need for level 26? Another 4,000, which is like 10 times through this. It's not terrible. I think I'm definitely going to want to be at least level 26 before trying again. At least that'll give me an idea of how much damage he does and how much damage I do. Because if I'm at least consistently dealing damage in the double digits, then it'll be a much more pleasant experience. And heck, with this much money, I might even get the red mail. Which some dude said would fill me with strength, so does it increase my strength or something? I mean, I've got a weapon that increases my defense. So yeah. That's probably worth getting. Yeah, but then the block rod does the opposite. So who knows? Oh, lowers my HP? Let me say, screw that. It is not worth 6,000 gold to lower my HP. Ooh, 425 on a crit? Lovely. Terrible like the town that sells it. Brain, truer words have never been spoken. Trying to get the angle on that right. There we go. WRPGs being Western. There have been a... I was going to say there have been a couple of Western RPGs that I'm into. And then the first one I could think of was Zelda. Which, the more astute among you might notice, is not a Western RPG. I've never played Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls. I do want to try The Witcher. Okay, level 26, life up 4, strength up 2, defense up 3, luck up 4. So... it'll be 5,000 for the next level. That's quite a lot. So I'm gonna head back into town now. Heal up, and I'm gonna try the boss at level 26, which is only slightly under-leveled. And should give me a better idea of whether or not I can actually do this, like, anywhere near this level. So yeah, like I said, Witcher 3 is the only Western RPG that I have much interest in. One of the things that I think is kind of interesting about it is, and I haven't played it, but I've heard that it has like an investigative aspect where you have to like follow clues to find things. And I think that's a cool idea. Witcher 3 felt more like a Batman game. That's interesting. It's a different kind of RPG, but Shadow of Mordor is a Western RPG I've played and loved. Okay, creepy town. Sell me some big ol' onions. Let me sleep. I mean, like, that was good for level grinding as well, so... for money grinding. Yeah, the thing that a lot of open world games have at the moment, with the Spidey sense, or the Bat Vision, or your Witcher sensors, or whatever it is, I'm not super into that. Rain, no. I have never bitten straight into a raw onion, and I don't intend to. I'm not the biggest fan of onion at the best of times. Yeah, I've heard from people who have done it that it burns. However, if you do it, I will allow it. And yes, apparently I'm allowed to disallow things. I will allow you to do it on condition that you stream it on Twitch. I want to see you bite into an onion live. That's all I want. Do you stream, by the way, Rain? Oh, but if your sister's the streamer, you can appear on one of her streams for like a minute to just eat a raw onion. No one's gonna complain. Like, you're gonna bring in 1 million views for her. Wait, I'm still 1 level too high. Oh, dude, no. Your sister must do a charity stream. And, like, the incentive for getting to whatever the goal is you will eat a whole onion live on stream. Because I would contribute any amount of money to that charity. I mean, yeah, but you're the one who proposed it. Okay, fucker. Okay, I was doing 1 damage with that before. Okay, yes, those are some numbers I like. I'm still taking some damage. And now my strength has been reduced, so... like, not doing a lot of damage is expected. Also, frankly, just have more health to lose. Rip. My strength is still garbage. Whoops. Dang it, I forgot my strength is reduced. Yeah, this is going much better. Hey, Anders. So a lot of today's stream has been fighting this guy, under-leveled, and then realizing that that's not going to go anywhere, followed about 20 minutes of grinding. Okay, one of the legs is exploding. This is going so much better. To give you an idea, Anders, now I'm dealing like 30 to 40 damage per hit, which is fine. I've managed to break one of the legs. Before I was dealing 8 damage on a crit. So, this is a much more pleasant experience. Yes, we found a bunch more Terranigma fans. I say we found. Really, they found me. Rain has been a constant source of encouragement, which I really appreciate, because I needed it during the bad times. Okay, 2 legs busted. Rip. Okay. How is your suspension still okay? Well, I'm fighting him. I'm not still fighting him, Cahill. I'm fighting him again after a bunch of grinding. Tom in chat looked up the boss. The boss is level 27. So when I did my grinding, I did it up to level 26, which means that this is still a challenging fight, as it should be. I like my bosses to be challenging. Not finished yet. Little fuckers. Okay. These guys are not difficult. The last gasp attack was unsightly. We done? This went so much better than all of the last times. Like, I made progress. Okay. Oh. That's very creepy. Those are zombies. These are presumably people who Dr. Baruga has put into cryo-sleep or something, but they don't look very alive, which makes me question the immortality that he's offering. Huh. Okay. I did not expect his hair to be green. I have no idea who you are, but I thank you for arousing me. That is not the word you were looking for, buddy. Ark is 15. He should not be arousing you. So, translations from Japanese, huh? I am Baruga. As you can see, I am aroused by fit young men. When the world died, so did all the handsome boys. So I took a long sleep. Yes, until the resurrection of humans. I wish to show you something. It is my pee-pee. Follow me. Yes, Nuv, I beat the robot. It was... Once I was an appropriate level, it was tough, but very manageable. This dude said he was aroused by Ark. So, there's that. Follow me, and I will show you my pee-pee. Don't worry, there are only robots around. No one to tell on us. I mean... anything's a dildo if you're brave enough? That is the saying, right? I created this life. Isn't it beautiful? No, bro, it isn't. It's terrible. With this system, people can live forever. Death is no longer fearful. Talk to the zombie in the nutrient bath. The zombie, it's looking at me. Hey, this zombie looks incredibly sad. Is it really a happy thing to revive the dead? If people didn't die, the world would be filled up immediately. I have naturally taken that into account. The unnecessary shall die, and only the necessary live. That is called eugenics. And the fundamental flaw of eugenics is, how do you define the necessary people? Because, funnily enough, most proponents of eugenics, somehow they're included in the necessary people. That's all. What? Excuse me? Oh, you seem to be a bit hot-headed. But you better not get too close to me. Oh, Anders. Oh, sweet Anders, how I love you. No. On Sunday, for the past 2 Sundays in fact, I've been playing a bad game. I knew it was bad when I started, and it was worse. And I'm not finished yet. No, I like playing bad games sometimes. Also, I like playing good games, hence this. Are you aware of the 3 laws of robots? Gold is streaming? Well, I know who I'm going to be raiding in a couple of minutes. In essence, robots must not harm people. Okay, but your robot set me on fire? Robots must protect people. If those conditions are met, a robot must protect itself. But the robots here have one more rule governing their behavior. Anyone deemed to be a threat to my person must be terminated now. My liege shall soon re-emerge from the underworld. Excuse me? He knows the underworld. My liege himself is the world and knows all truths. Let us witness the world on the verge of great progress. Fuck, I knew he was going to be evil. I feel like the word genius has a weird association in Japanese. Because there are several cases I've found of, like, genius being a title given to, like, a particular kind of villain. I'm assuming these are all the unnecessary people being vaporized. Can I get some Fs in the chat? Yeah, fucking Elder. You told me to resurrect the genius. I'm blaming you for this. Ark, you have done well to groom the world so far. Did you not see how everything went badly? Baruga will make this world fantastic. Oh my god, the Elder's a villain as well. The Elder's a freaking eugenicist. Your duty is finished. You shall rest eternally. You know what? I'm gonna say, nice twist. I approve. Yeah, I really didn't, Rain. No, I completely approve of that. Baruga being a bad guy, saw coming. The Elder being a bad guy, completely caught me off guard. So, I'm going to die. I wonder what I fought for all this time. Was what I did shaping a world like Baruga wanted? Yo, Pingu! Somebody tell me. Somebody once told me the world was gonna... I'm done with that joke. I don't want to die without knowing. So once I have control again, I am going to kind of call the stream, but I'm glad with the progress I've made. That's right, Ark. You must not die at a place like this. You exist outside the loop of fate, so you can change fate. Interesting little thing that, again, occurs in a couple of other JRPGs. The one that comes to mind is Xenoblade Chronicles. I've never seen this. I'm really glad that I'm seeing this. This world needs you. I will transport your body to me. Now, don't slip away. Fuck yes. I knew it was gonna be you, old man. You rock. Oh, you've come too. Wait, don't try to move. I arrived just as Lord Kumari came with you terribly injured. You may be aware of this, but the Star of Darkness has re-emerged. It erased a city from the world with no effort. Okay, I'm gonna call it here. So let me do a save state. This has been so much fun. I'm really enjoying where I'm getting in the game. There was a legitimately good twist there. One that I completely did not see coming. So yeah, I am pleased. I'm loving this game. Guys, if you're not following and you enjoyed this, I would appreciate if you could drop a follow. Oh, Brain Squall. Perfect timing, in fact. I normally stream Wednesdays at 5:30 Eastern, Saturdays at 5:30 Eastern, and Sundays at 2:30 Eastern. However, this week there's going to be one extra stream. On Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern, I am going to be doing a charity stream where I'm going to be playing all of the Freddy Fish games in a row. From the first one to the last one. At least all the ones that are available on Steam. That is going to be a very, very long stream. No, don't listen to Cahill. It's easy to set up the game when the world opens up. But the toy mouse... Yeah. No, look, this is a lot of fun. Pingu! So, Anders, thank you. You are some pig. And in a moment, Pingu, you're incredibly kind. Pingu is... I broke it so people can keep donating instead of leaving it at $69.69. That's very kind of you, Pingu. Anyway, we're going to be rating gold because gold is the best egg. She had a bit of a tough first stream, but I'm hoping her next stream will be better. And frankly, those of us who do stream, know what the first stream is like. It's never that good. And the thing is, her stream was good in terms of content. She just had technical issues, like we all do sometimes. Hopefully, she's managed to sort those out. Gold is fantastic, and if you, while you're there, I hope you drop a follow for her as well. Anders, Rain, especially, thank you so much. Obviously, thank you everybody in chat. I really appreciate it. But it's lovely having people who know the game here. It's great for me. Thank you guys so much. It has been fantastic. I hope I'll see some of you during my charity stream. If time zones are an issue, they shouldn't be this time because I should be streaming for somewhere between 8 and 12 hours. So, yeah, I hope you'll be able to come through. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Say hi to Gold for me. Give her all your love motes, whatever love motes you have. Ciao.